It's a hot and sticky start to the month of July, but it's great to be back at Turner Field where the Braves start a very nice 7-game homestand with the Baltimore Orioles. Our final jaunt through interleague play begins tonight. And all year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Happy July 1st, everybody. Joe and Chip back with you at the ballpark. Braves wrap up a terrific road trip, sweeping 3 games from the Seattle Mariners. As you know, the Braves partner have the best road record in the National League. I think they'd like to say they have the best home record at the end of this homestand.
Especially when you think about the good work they put in last year, Chip. They had such a good year at Turner Field. Their record at home right now, 22-17, an even record in one-run games. More errors at home than on the road, which is a little surprising. And that bottom stat, that's the one that gets me. Before the All-Star break last year, only 1 home series loss, 7 already this year. They don't want that to happen against the Baltimore Orioles. But keep in mind, the Braves have also won 4 straight at home. Jair Jurgens goes tonight for Atlanta, 9-1. Are you kidding me? He's been outstanding at Turner Field in his career, too. Good numbers this year at Turner Field. Let's hope that he keeps things working the right direction for him, coming off a real good start in his last outing against San Diego. And for the Braves, they need to keep this good run going. They've won 4 in a row.
Chance for Jair to become the first 11-game winner in the National League with a victory over the slumping Baltimore Orioles. Coming up, great to be back home. Home sweet home indeed for the Braves here at Turner Field. We'll get you started with the Braves and the Orioles. Starting lineups and first pitch coming up after this. By a cat. Are brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T Uverse, by Delta Airlines, by Checkers, and by Ford. Great crowd filing in at Turner Field tonight. Interleague play and fireworks after the Braves and Orioles finish up Game 1 of this 3-game series. Hope you'll make plans to join us for a very special week of Braves baseball here on this Independence Day week. Baltimore in 4-3. Then the Colorado Rockies come to town beginning on Monday, the 4th of July. Baltimore comes in to start things off with a 35-43 record. They've lost their last 3 games in a row. And J.J. Hardy has been a real big bright spot for them at the top of their order. He hit 9 home runs in the month of June. Local kid Nick Markakis comes back. He'll be in right field. And Adam Jones, a terrific young center fielder that they acquired from the Seattle Mariners, will bat third in this lineup.
The Orioles road record 13-21. Some of the numbers against them, or for them, I guess you would say, against them more than anything else. Down near the bottom of the league in pitching. They're lower third in defense. 5th in the league in home runs. That's good, but their batting average 5th in the league as well, but 10th in runs scored. So while they might hit a little bit and hit some homers, they're not scoring runs.
And certainly not pitching, as you mentioned. That has not been the case for the Braves the last 4 times out there. The starting pitching on the road trip was outstanding.
Yeah, this would be 5 straight quality starts if J.J. can get it done tonight. And coming off Derek Lowe's best outing in several starts. Good work in Seattle by Lowe, Hansen, and Beachy. Hudson's start came in San Diego. So looking forward to whatever the second half brings for this rotation, because they're really tuning it up, pitching great right now.
Still waiting for the Braves to take the field on this hot, muggy night. A chance for Jair Jurgens to become the National League's first 11-game winner this season. Jurgens 10-3 with a sparkling earned run average that has only now crept above 2 runs per game.
He's got good numbers in a lot of different categories. In interleague play, 2-1 with a 161. Home record, 5-1 with a 221. All good stuff. Coming off a start in his last outing against San Diego, got a lot of run support. Went 6 innings, 3 hits and a run, but he walked 4 and said that he needed to improve on his command a little bit. He was upset by that and struck out 2. He has 1 complete game this year. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight: home, night, interleague. Home, 5-1. Night, ERA 2.10. Interleague, 2-1 with a 161. And don't be taking their pitchers for granted. These guys, they're pitchers. The Orioles pitchers in interleague play 7 for 15 so far. Pretty impressive swinging the bat. So no DH, but those guys might be a tough out. Be alive.
Here's the defense behind J.J. tonight. McLeod, Schaefer, and Jason Hayward from left to right. Good to see Chipper Jones back in the lineup. Chipper got the day off against King Felix and the Mariners in Seattle. And Jurgens and McCann represents the Braves battery. Brian Runge will have the plate tonight. Tim McClellan, Mark Ripperger, and Marvin Hudson. Rest of the umpires for Game 1 of this Braves and Baltimore series.
Four straight wins at home. They've won 7 straight interleague games. Stay hot.
That's been the rally cry for J.J. Hardy. He's red hot. Good looking player. 11 homers, 30 RBIs, and hitting .305 out of the leadoff spot for Baltimore. Takes strike 1. 86 degrees at first pitch. And quickly 0-2.
Only Paul Konerko hit more home runs in the month of June than J.J. Hardy. He was tied with Adam Lind and Mark Teixeira for most homers in the month.
And a slow roller hit down the third base line. And
Hardy will come back to the batter's box.
To say that that home run output is an improvement for the Orioles at shortstop would be an understatement. His 9 home runs in the month of June is one more than the combined home run output by Orioles shortstops for the last 3 years.
Power at shortstop never used to be a problem for the Orioles, did it?
No, it didn't. Mr. Ripken took care of that for many years. Unless you're talking about Mark Belanger.
Well, we can go back as far as you want. But they like Hardy a lot. They have started kicking around the idea of extending his contract. And Hardy would like to stay with the Orioles. And the former Milwaukee Brewer and Minnesota Twin enjoying life at Camden Yards, although would like to see the Orioles pick things up a notch. 8 games below 500 is Buck Showalter's ball club entering tonight's play.
They played real well after he took over last year. They went 34-23, 11 games over 500 when he became manager.
Jurgens strikes out Hardy.
Good breaking ball after trying to get him with some change-ups. Breaking ball got him to chase.
Here's Nick Markakis out of Woodstock High School. And the hottest Baltimore hitter. Freeman at first. Jurgens to the bag. Markakis will try to extend a 19-game hitting streak tonight, but he's the second out.
First and second innings and good starts are not a problem for JJ so far this year. He's only given up 1 run in the first and 1 run in the second on the season. Then when you're 10-3 and have the best ERA in the National League, there aren't too many innings that do give you a problem.
Here's Adam Jones. One of 5 players that Baltimore acquired in the deal that sent Eric Bedard to Seattle. "13 homers, 46 RBIs this year for Adam, and a Gold Glove last season. And a chopper to chipper will retire the side. Jurgens gets 3 outs on only 10 pitches. Good start for JJ and Atlanta defensively. Let's see if the Bats can go to work early when we come back. The first inning, Braves and Orioles. Baltimore retired in order by Jurgens in the top half of this opening inning. And Friday Night Braves baseball on Sports South, presented by Blimpie. Here's the Atlanta lineup. Braves come in at 47-35, a season high, 12 games over 500. Joe made a great point about that final game in Seattle. 10 hits, all of them singles. Very good approaches from top to bottom on that Brave lineup card.
Jeremy Guthrie is the pitcher for the Orioles tonight. 32 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Ashland, Oregon. 5 years in the big leagues. Former #1 pick by Cleveland back in 2002. His 4 keys to success: home run derby. He gives up a bunch of them. Sinking feeling. He needs good movement on his fastball. He's going to pitch to contact. He needs some ground balls and certainly not fly balls. Gave up 35 homers in 09. 25 last year, and he's already given up 13 this year.
Two balls, 2 strikes now to Jordan Schaefer. How much of that a product of his ballpark, Camden Yards?
Well, that is certainly. If you're pitching half your games there, you're going to give up some homers, no doubt about it, especially to left field. It's a bandbox to left field.
And a high fastball retires Schaefer for the first Braves out of the night.
That's a bunch, but 35 in 09. .41-57 career mark. Won his last start, but only pitched 5 2/3 against the Reds.
Strike 1 to Jason Hayward, who brings a 3-game hit streak into tonight's play. Day arrest helps his right shoulder.
Yeah, he had a collision with the wall on a great catch a couple of days ago. Hopefully didn't irritate that. Here's that catch, and it was a big play at the time. And able to roll into the wall and off of it, but right on that right shoulder that was giving him problems earlier this season.
Ground ball out towards second. Robert Andino, a former Marlin, takes care of Jason Hayward. Here's the rest of the Orioles defensive lineup tonight. Told you about Jones in center, a Gold Glove Award winner. Keep an eye behind the plate. Matt Wieters out of Georgia Tech. A terrific catch and throw catcher. And of course, former Brave Derek Lee back in town. He's over at first for the Oriole club. And here's Brian McCann. Don't know if you can have a better offensive road trip at the plate than this guy had.
Be tough.
Brian was 9 for 17 at the plate and has raised his average up to .314.
They didn't know what to do with him in Seattle. They just kept trying to go in and out, up and down, trying not to throw the same pitch twice in a row. They'd pretty much given up on trying to figure out how to get him out.
And he didn't see a strike in this first inning. Baltimore will face Chipper Jones with a man aboard and 2 outs.
Well, that comes under the category of who's hot and who's not. Brian, as you said, red hot. Chipper is not. He's 0 for his last 13.
And he rolls over to second on the first pitch he sees on the night. And Guthrie is out of first inning trouble himself. We go to the second. No score at Turner Field. Port South are brought to you in part by the Georgia Lottery, by AT&T, and by Chase. Scoreless game as we head to the second inning of play. Jair Jurgens got the Orioles out in order on just 10 pitches before a big crowd at home tonight. And now he'll go through the heart of the Orioles attack. It'll start with Matt Wieters, the pride of Georgia Tech. Good looking catching prospect with 7 homers and 33 runs batted in.
As catchers go, he's a giant. 6'5", 240. And a switch hitter on top of that.
That's right to first baseman Freddie Freeman. And Jurgens getting outs early in the count on a hot night. That's a good sign. And let's see if Derek Lee gets a nice hand from the Braves crowd. He ought to. Derek played a nice role for the Braves' playoff run last year.
Maybe they should announce his name again.
Slow first half for Derek, just a 244 average and 6 home runs.
Didn't he pick up his 1900th hit the other day, though?
He did. That's fouled at third, and Jurgens ahead. No balls, 2 strikes.
Some highlights to help you remember Derek when he was here. RBIs, 39 games, not bad.
And that ball spanked toward right. Hayward going back, reaches up in front of the bullpen fence. Derek Lee gave it a ride and is retired for the second out.
Nice play by Jason here to the deepest part of the ballpark. Toughest place to hit a ball out, I think, in this park is out there by the Braves bullpen. Tracked it all the way. Hopefully none of the Orioles players learned anything from that at bat, because Derek went the other way, trying not to pull the ball, and smoked that ball.
Luke Scott's the Orioles left fielder. On his way to another 20 home run season if he can stay healthy, and right now that's a big issue. Talking to the Orioles broadcasters, Scott's got a shoulder problem, a labrum tear that's going to require some surgery perhaps at the end of the season, if not sooner. He's going to go as hard as he can for as long as he can in the lineup.
He was their team MVP last year. 284 average, hit 27 homers, drove in 72.
And you'd think he'd be a perfect guy for their ballpark and their lineup, with the friendly confines of Camden Yards and Utah Street right.
They brought in Vladimir Guerrero as a free agent, thinking that he would be able to take advantage of those friendly confines too, and coming off a great year for Texas. But Guerrero, while he's hit 280, he's only hit 6 homers, and we probably won't see him in this series except a pinch hit, since there's no DH.
Missed the inside corner, and the count now full 3-2. Watching Vladimir Guerrero is worth the price of admission all by itself. And JJ has his second strikeout, and he's worked 2 perfect innings tonight. Beautiful night at Turner Field. Great to be back home, and still no score. It's every telecast to join you here in the broadcast booth. Don't miss the premiere of Under the Lights, the making of a Braves broadcast. July 8th only on Sports South. For a sneak peek now, go to foxsportssouth.com. And we certainly appreciate all the efforts of the fine men and women who make up our Emmy award-winning Fox crew. And hope you're enjoying the start of the 4th of July festivities wherever you might be tonight.
Fireworks tonight here at the ballpark. Fireworks tomorrow night. Fireworks Monday night.
And a chance for the Braves to put together a good homestand before that final series before the break against the Phillies on the road. High fly ball toward left. Luke Scott handles that without trouble. And Freddie Freeman is out number 1.
Jeremy Guthrie throws in the low to mid-90s. You can put a little on, take a little off. Curve ball. He overthrew one last inning trying to drop a curve in there, but a good over-the-top curve and a slider. His changeup is really his 4th best pitch.
Here's Dan Ugla. I mentioned he was the number 1 pick by Cleveland, and a guy that could throw in the mid-90s. How does he get waived?
They gave up on him.
He was a very highly touted pitcher in his college days. Remember all the hoopla about Mark Pryor before the Cubs drafted him? The year before Mark Pryor was taken number 1 by the Cubs, Guthrie was the only man to beat him head-to-head in a college pitching matchup. He's 26-6 at Stanford, and he has his second strikeout. Dan down swinging.
Well, he had an interesting college career. He is a devout Mormon and went to Brigham Young University first and then went on a mission for 2 years. And when he came back, he had transferred then to Stanford. That's how he got there.
Gonzalez had 1 hit on the road trip. He singles in his first at bat on the homestand, and he's aboard with 2 outs.
Yeah, rather than talk about that one hit, maybe we should just say he's 2 for his last 3. Because he got a hit in his next to last at bat in Seattle, and that one looked like it went off the glove of Reynolds. Chance for him to catch up with Derek Lee.
Nate McLouth bats for the first time tonight. He's at .232 for the year. Both you and I were in the booth when the Braves were taking batting practice. There was a very welcome sight. Martin Prado was in uniform and is beginning to up his baseball activities. That ball driven deep left center field. Scott going back on the warning track is there to make the catch, and that retires the side. The duel is on in Atlanta. We have no score.
The recently retired Reverend Rex Caney enjoying the ball game tonight. So welcome to the game, sir. Hope you have a good time. Hope you bring the Braves some good luck tonight. And hope your daughter gave us an easy trivia question.
Yes, that might be the most important thing. As you all know, All-Star balloting wrapped up at midnight last night. But for Braves fans everywhere, there is a very important voting opportunity that you might want to take part in. There are 2 sandwiches that you can vote for to remain on the Turner Field menu at the All-Star break. The Cobb smoked pulled chicken or the Turner Field brisket sandwich.
That's an 18-hour braised beef brisket.
Now, the winning sandwich will be determined by online votes and sales of sandwiches from the first half. And the all-important decision will be announced after the All-Star break and will stay on the menu for the rest of the season.
Well, what about endorsements from certain broadcasters?
Well, I think you should just dig right in and offer your opinion. You and Hal. As Mark Reynolds drives the ball toward left center. And Schaefer puts it away.
Probably be rude if I started with a potato chip, wouldn't it?
Probably. Unless you want to clean the palate. You never know.
I got to move my mic.
All right, what are you going for first?
I'm going with the brisket first.
All right, brisket. Hang on. Here we go. Mic is moved. Hold on. Should we chronicle this?
Got onions falling out, too.
Okay. All right, he's got the brisket going.
That wins.
That wins. You haven't even tried the chicken yet.
Doesn't matter.
You got to move the mic down.
Doesn't matter. That's awesome, that brisket.
Okay. Another strike to Andino.
Anything happened while I was eating?
There was a fly out. Just enjoy. Go ahead.
Okay, chicken.
Okay.
Pulled chicken on toast. After this pitch.
Yeah, this is a very important pitch. Hang on. Okay.
You know what?
Hold on. Okay.
There's coleslaw in there too.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. That's really good too. I got to admit, but
All right, so the pulled chicken is house smoked pulled chicken with Vidalia onion straws, secret signature sauce, and country slaw on Texas toast versus the 18-hour braised beef brisket.
I know this is going a whole lot better than that vanilla Coke taste test.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, I'm going to go brisket. If you'd like to sample,
I think Hal should try because he's an impartial observer, and he's always hungry over there. Send it over to Hal.
Okay.
He's Dr. No, as you know.
In case you hadn't noticed, I took bites out of those, and I'm eating that one again later. So.
Andino is down on strikes. Reynolds flies to center. Andino is strikeout victim number 3 for Jurgens. And here we are in that always dangerous pitcher spot for the Orioles.
What'd you go with first, the brisket? Okay. We'll wait till he gets a little chicken in him, too, to find out.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Hal gives that a 9.
That's a 9
That's
already.
the brisket?
Mm-hmm.
Brisket's a 9. Okay.
He's riding pretty high after his South Carolina Gamecocks won back-to-back NCAA championships, too, by the way. Brisket got a 9. Always going back to the chicken for one more
That's always
bite.
a good sign.
Yeah.
And we will have the announcement for you when we come back from break. That's called a tease, folks. You want to stick around for that. Not much left on the plate. That's a good sign. The Cobb smoked pulled chicken and the Turner Field brisket, both winners tonight. Have no score all year long. Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, and more importantly, the decision is in for Joe and Hal, our sandwich finalists: the smoked pulled chicken or the Turner Field brisket sandwich.
I went brisket. Hal gave the chicken a 10.
Really?
And a 9 for the brisket.
And what
we're
was
split.
What was the decider for you? The coleslaw? Al says the coleslaw. So a split decision in the booth. But if you'd like, log on to Braves.com/sandwich. You can taste each one of them at the West Plaza Taste of the Major stand, the Chop House, on the 755 Club.
I got to admit, while I picked the brisket, that Texas toast that the pulled chicken's on, nice touch.
So thanks to Megan Swingle, Dan Smith from Aramark for feeding my partners up in the booth tonight, and hope you'll vote early and vote often.
I may forget to vote tomorrow, so I may need another reminder.
We can work on that for you. Yeah, you didn't take much convincing, did you? Right away, you voted for
That was
the
really
poll.
good.
Guthrie and JJ matching each other pitch for pitch so far in this game. And that's the Baltimore right-hander's third strikeout. Here's Schaefer. Jordan's still on that fly-out strikeout run, isn't he?
A few more ground balls. You know, he got a huge hit in the game in Seattle on Wednesday off Hernandez, a base hit to right field that drove in a run and stole a base. And it wasn't until the 9th inning that he hit a ground ball that went 1-6-3, turned that into a, I mean, it was a deflection, but that was the first ground ball in quite some time for him.
Two balls and a strike. Jordan hitting .220 out of the leadoff spot for the Braves. And a fly ball to right. Markakis is under it. Strikeout to start. A fly out for the second out of this third inning.
Jordan's got to get back to the basics that he was doing when he first came up and working so hard to get on base. And remember, we'd see him take batting practice, and it's been his whole batting practice is trying to hit the ball to left field, a little inside out approach up the middle. Now there's a lot of lifting going on.
Ball one to Jason Hayward, who bounced out to second his first time up. Now he'll ground to J.J. Hardy at short. And that retires the Braves in order in the third. We head to the fourth inning. Good pitchers duel, no score. Subject of our quote of the day, brought to you by our friends at Geico.
Comes from Dan Ugla today, who says, as a player, you're never really worried with him on the mound. Once it gets to be crunch time and there's runners in scoring position, he just gets that much tougher. And boy, is Dan right. When you look at the numbers, the batting average numbers against Jair, as runners get on, the numbers go down. 237 when somebody gets on, 164 with somebody in scoring position, and 171, which is even more tremendous. Even though the average is a little higher, that's just great with 2 outs to cut down on those 2-out hits.
He struck out J.J. Hardy to start the game for the Orioles. He starts him off with a strike here in the 4th inning already.
So far, Jurgens hasn't thrown all that hard tonight, but he's doing a great job of hitting his spots. His fastball's been 87 to 89, somewhere in that range.
That one at 89, but up around the collarbone, and Hardy down swinging for the 5th Jurgens strikeout tonight.
But wasn't that a great sequence? I mean, he start the inning with a real slow breaking ball, about 79 miles an hour. Fastball to keep him honest inside on the corner, and then as you saw McCann wanting a high target, he gave it to him there and got Hardy to chase behind in the count. That's his range so far tonight, with that 79 mile an hour pitch being the first one he threw of the inning. But the command is the thing tonight, Chip. His last 3 starts coming in at a night, he had walked 11 men in those 3 starts. The 3 starts prior to that, he'd only walked 2 total. He's thrown 37 pitches right now, and only 9 have been out of the strike zone.
That was one of the questions the Braves had about Jurgens this spring when his velocity wasn't 92, 93. I think you could make the case that he's a better pitcher when he isn't at 92 or 93.
When he's not trying to overpower. This guy's widely considered the best player on their team. Nick Markakis, as you said, out of Woodstock High School, out in Cherokee County. But very consistent numbers, and a guy who goes to the mat every day. 161 games 2 years ago, 160 last year, hit 297 last year, career 298 hitter. Twice has driven in more than 100 runs. Went to Young Harris Junior College. Look at this from a consistency standpoint. Home runs were off a little bit last year, so were his RBIs, but part of that's because nobody wanted to pitch to him, and they didn't have to. They didn't have anybody else that was really a threat.
Back to the mound. And the other impressive things about those numbers for Markakis, think of the teams that the Orioles face 18, 19 times. Tampa Bay, Toronto, where they had Roy Halladay, the Yankees and the Red Sox. That's real impressive offensive work, I think.
And they're very disappointed in the way things have turned out so far this year, and being 35 and 43. They had high hopes, and they got off to a rip-roaring start. Everybody's going, hey, look, check out the Orioles and what they're doing. But they just couldn't sustain it, and largely because of their pitching.
The Orioles have only 34 quality starts. That's next to last in all of Major League Baseball. Remember, a quality start equates to a 4.50 ERA.
The Braves have 51 if you want a measuring stick.
Ball and a strike to Adam Jones, who bounced out to Chipper Jones his first time up.
Something else about their record and their schedule and their division, who they play. They're 0-6 against the Yankees, but they've just played the Yankees 6 times. They got a lot of games left with them.
Yeah, look at
2-2 against the Red Sox. They've only played them 4 times. They got a lot of games left with them.
Yeah, their July schedule: Atlanta, Texas, Boston, Cleveland, Boston, Angels, Toronto, Yankees. That's July.
That's brutal.
And as it stands now, they're 35-43. And a high fly ball by Jones into left center field. McLeod straight across, makes the play and saved an extra base hit. Boy, did he gain ground on that drive by Adam Jones. And Jurgens remains perfect through 4. Can play center field, manning 2 spots in your outfield.
Nate had a long way to go to get this one. Went across, then had to go back, give ground, and able to brace himself just in time.
So the Braves bat in the 4th, no score. Guthrie pitched around Brian McCann his first time up. This time he jumps ahead with strike 1.
Matt Wieters has been establishing himself as one of their team leaders, and one of the things that has taken a while is for the pitchers to trust what he wants them to do back there. And now they've pretty much said it's your game and we'll go with what you think, and it's been paying off a little better for them. At least in most instances. Naturally, the pitcher's the guy that's got the last call on what he wants to throw. And there's a couple of shakeoffs there.
Everything away from McCann in this at bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wieters, the 5th overall pick in the 2007 draft, got to the bigs in 09 with the Orioles. And a little roller hit toward Derek Lee. And plenty of time for Guthrie to get to the bag for out number 1. And talking to the Orioles people about Wieters, the name that comes to mind for them is Jason Varitek. They say that Wieters has the same work ethic, same study habits, same leadership skills that you were talking about. And if he can have that kind of career, I'm sure the Orioles would be thrilled with that.
He's got to be the biggest catcher in the game, doesn't he? He's bigger than McCann, bigger than Mauer, bigger than Posey, bigger than all three of the Molinas put together.
Chipper's seen 2 pitches, and he's grounded out to second twice. And Freddie Freeman hits with 2 outs. It's a great note on Freddie in the Braves media notes today. Freeman became only the second Braves rookie with 3 hits in a game off a defending Cy Young Award winner when he did that against Felix Hernandez. Do you know who the other Brave was that did that?
Sounds like trivia to me.
Straightaway center and well hit. But Jones makes the play at the fence. Wow, 2 great catches by outfielders end each half of this 4th inning. We'll answer that Freddie Freeman question for you as we head to a scoreless 5th inning. Part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by the Home Depot, by McDonald's, and by Honda. Good pitching on a hot night at Turner Field. No score. Jurgens and Guthrie hooking up in game 1. And Matt Wieters will go to work first. He bounced out to Freddie Freeman.
Like this get over breaking ball he's thrown for a strike to start the last 2 innings.
Up the middle. One out. Yeah, the last Brave to have 3 hits against a reigning Cy Young Award winner, the last Brave rookie that is, was Francisco Cabrera.
Huh. I remember him. Who was it against?
Oral Hershiser. Final day of the 1989 season. Hershiser won the Cy Young in '88. Little deflection off the bat of Derek Lee. That's a 1-4-3 putout. Again, Jurgens getting outs early in the count.
He's had some good plays made for him by the outfielders, but he's also getting a lot of good ground ball outs early in the count. So far, so good.
Jurgens struck out Luke Scott. That ended the Orioles' second. It's been a rough go for Baltimore. They've lost their last 3 games and have not had a lead in the last 31 2/3 innings that they have played. And another comebacker. 15 up, 15 down for Jurgens. He could use a little offensive support. He's pitching beautifully at home tonight. Being presented by Blimpie with my partner Joe Simpson and our great Fox Sports South crew. Chip Caray back at the ballpark where we have no score. Take your family and friends to the ballpark this weekend, friends. You have 2 more chances for post-game fireworks celebrations tomorrow night and Monday, presented by Publix and Disney's Captain America. For tickets, visit Braves.com or call 800-745-3000. More with the Orioles, then 4 with the Colorado Rockies. Dan Uggla, Alex Gonzalez, Nate McLeod up for the Braves in the 5th.
Counseling from his hitting coach for Jordan Schaefer. Got some coaching changes for the Orioles this year, too. Former hitting coach for Freddie Gonzalez in Florida, and a former Brave, Jim Presley's now their hitting coach under Buck Showalter. See Willie Randolph in your picture there. He's now coaching third. He switched places with former Pirates manager John Russell, who had been coaching third base for the O's. Now he's the bench coach.
Dan swings through that, tips it into the glove of Wieters. That pitch at 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, Dan was late on it, too. That's what made me look up at the radar gun, because that one had something on it.
Well, we want to take a moment, wish a very happy birthday to that young fella right there, Walter Banks, celebrating his birthday at the ballpark tonight.
Best usher in America.
Talk about someone who has a love affair with the Braves and wants to make the fans feel like they're sitting at home. That's your guy. So Walter, happy 29th birthday, and many, many more. Alex is the only man to record a hit in this game. And now 4 for 7 lifetime against Guthrie. He saw him while in the American League. And that one off Guthrie's leg, and it bounced right to his feet for the second out. Let's see if he's all right. The Orioles trainer will come out to check. The infield for Baltimore will join that conversation too.
He threw up a stop sign saying he's okay. But this was pretty good reactions by him. He knew it was somewhere close because it hit him solid. Right in the thigh. Where is it? Nice recovery. Tonight's start for Guthrie, a little contrary to the way he's been pitching. 2 starts ago at Pittsburgh, 6 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs, 5 were earned. And then in that start against Cincinnati, he got the win, but he only went 5 2/3, gave up 4 earned runs and 4 walks in that start. Threw 111 pitches in 5 2/3.
Not much more economical tonight. He's at 54 pitches with 1 out left to get in this 5th. Page out of the Jurgens playbook. A slow breaking ball for a called strike 1 to Nate McLouth. High fly ball, playable for Jones or Markakis. It'll be Jones in right center. And Guthrie's retired 10 in a row. We've completed 5 scoreless innings.
Sports South are brought to you in part by Georgia Power, by Toyota, by Blimpie, and by Geico.
Beautiful pitching on display at Turner Field tonight as we head to the 6th inning, and pitching is the subject of our Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard.
Last 10 games, the Braves have gone 8-2. Outstanding ERA and opponents' average against them, and they've held them to 2 runs or fewer in 6 of those 10 games. Some good, consistent work and a good outing from Derek Lowe Wednesday, beating Felix Hernandez.
And boy, did Derek need that. We've gone over a month between victories for the Braves. So maybe he can get on a roll for Atlanta too. Jurgen certainly on one tonight. As the bottom of the Orioles order up, Reynolds, Andino, and Guthrie. You know the story of Reynolds. He will strike out a ton, but he will also hit the ball to the moon if you make a mistake. Reynolds over 200 strikeouts in each of the last 3 seasons. Came over from the Diamondbacks and has hit 15 home runs for Baltimore in 253 at bats.
It's a good ballpark for him. I mean, Chase Field in Arizona, good hitting park too, but certainly not for home runs compared to Camden Yards.
And that's the first base runner of the night for Baltimore. Reynolds walks to lead off the 6th inning.
There haven't been too many of those for Jair in terms of leadoff walks. Had a problem with it in 09, gave up 14 of them, 9 last year, and that was only his 4th so far this year. Big improvement.
Robert Andino struck out swinging in the 3rd for the Orioles. Popped into shallow right, but playable for Jason Hayward.
Going to be that time of night too where fly balls could be an adventure.
Beautiful sunset tonight in Atlanta. 86 degrees at first pitch, cooling off nicely. Slight breeze, not much. Jeremy Guthrie, the hitter. As Joe mentioned, the Baltimore pitchers have done a heck of a job swinging the bats in interleague play. They're 7 for 16 now. Who needs the DH, right?
The rest of the American League, they can look at the Baltimore staff in admiration because nobody else is doing anywhere close to that.
Hard bunt, back to the mound. Jurgens to second, and Guthrie beats it out. Braves got the leading runner, but now Hardy hits with the pitcher aboard and 2 out.
Well, this is a quick release too by JJ. He got himself set, got his feet in the right position, so all he had to do was turn and throw. And he threw a good fastball to Alex. Guthrie had to hustle to avoid the double play.
The Braves' JJ has struck out the Orioles' JJ twice. guy's done a heck of a job out of a leadoff spot. He's been on in 33 of the last 35 games for the Orioles. And you'd much prefer to see a red-hot Nick Markakis leading off the next inning, for he's the Delta Airlines on-deck batter. The pitcher broke too soon. And did Jurgens balk? Yes, he did. A balk called by Tim McClellan. Guthrie was dead to rights.
He may have separated his hands before he stepped off. Well, he didn't break his hands, but he did flinch. It was just a slight, very slight flinch there, meaning his first move was not to step off.
2 strikes though to Hardy. And deflected again by Jurgens, but Uggla right there to keep the no-hit bid alive. We are through 5.5. Baltimore nothing. Braves nothing.
Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam and the train. How about this nice play by Nate McLeod, tracking this one down in deep left center. Freeze it. Nice catch by Nate. That was the Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. My beer.
Your beer.
What's that?
I don't think that was the shopping cart.
No, but he was trying awful hard. You need to go work with him on that.
Speaking of working on something, let's get some trivia answers right, huh? Our AT&T Uverse question: who are the only 2 players in Orioles history with 25 homer and 25 steal seasons?
Gonna have to give that one some thought.
Guthrie had to run the bases for the Orioles. Let's see if that took a little bit of a toll. He's allowed only 1 hit. He set down 10 straight and has Jurgens starting things off. And J.J. Hardy handles cleanly for the first out.
Orioles are 10th in the American League in defense. They've made 52 errors. That compares with 50 for Atlanta on the season. But believe it or not, out of their 52 errors, 18 of them belong to Mark Reynolds, the third baseman. He's having a rough time defensively. That's more errors than any other player at any position in Major League Baseball. 18 already.
He's not yet been tested in this game, as Jordan Schaefer bats for the third time.
He's not that bad a third baseman.
Schaefer got a hanging breaking ball. And that's the second Atlanta hit. Now let's see if the Braves challenge Wieters behind the plate.
Tell you what else he did. He stayed back a little bit and just fought this off. It was a breaking ball, but he wasn't pulling off it. Kept his hands inside of it, so he was obviously thinking about staying on it a little longer, hitting the ball up the middle or the opposite field, and it paid off for him.
So maybe that little chat with Larry Parrish in between innings paid dividends. Let's see if Atlanta can cash in the game's first run. Hayward, the hitter. He's grounded out twice. If you think about running, you do so at your own peril. Wieters has thrown out 21 would-be base stealers. That's most in the American League.
I think it's the most in baseball. Both leagues. I'm impressed with Guthrie's fastball. A lot better than I've been led to believe. He's been sitting around 92, 93 and had that 195 tonight. That was to Ugla.
High fly ball, belted center. Jones back. See you later.
Jason didn't hit a home run in May. He didn't hit a home run in June. But he just launched one on July 1st, and it was a long one on a high fastball. First homer since April 29th.
So the first time Guthrie was in the stretch, he serves one up and now gives up the drive to McCann to right. This one, though, will stay in the yard. And 2 out.
Funny, that was kind of what was the difference maker for Felix Hernandez Wednesday. Braves got him in the stretch and he wasn't the same guy.
You mentioned earlier about Guthrie. He will give up a home run or two. Jason Hayward brings home Jordan Schaefer, and Atlanta has struck for the first 2 runs of this game on a mammoth homer to right center from Jason. If he gets hot. With Prado nearing return, with McCann swinging it like he is, and his good pitching, the Braves may have another fun month ahead of them. Again, June was very kind to them. They went 17-9 despite hitting .222 as a team in June. Chipper flies to center. And that retires the side. It's been a long time coming for the Grand Tour for Jason Hayward. He circles the bases for the 8th time. A 2-run homer gives Jair Jurgens and the Braves a lead heading to the 7th. Game summary. Atlanta leads the Orioles 2-0 after 6.
Good work by all concerned in those A hats. Jurgens 6 innings of shutout ball. Only giving up a walk, so all he's allowed. He's been sharp with his command. Walk came last inning, a leadoff walk to Reynolds, but that's the only base runner to this point.
.63 pitches for Jurgens through 6. And now Markakis goes to work first. And he's thrown strike one with great regularity tonight.
One side, then the other. Put a little on, take a little off. Just looking at Markakis' stance, I'm not trying to make a comparison here, but it makes me think of Stan Musial a little bit. Kind of a crouch and the way he holds his hands. Actually, it looks a whole lot more like Stan Musial than that statue of Stan outside of Busch Stadium.
They said that when it was unveiled. Another bouncing ball back to Jurgens. He's gotten a bunch of those tonight. In fact, he's gotten 3 of them. And 1 out in the top of the 7th. Get your tickets now to see the world's greatest party band. The B-52s will perform a free postgame concert presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines after the Braves and Nationals on Saturday, July 16th. Get your tickets in advance at braves.com/B52s.
Yeah, 3 comebackers to him for outs, but then there's also 2 deflections off of his glove and then the other bunt back to him. He's been busy.
Ball 1 to Adam Jones.
You say that Buck Showalter's the best thing that's happened to Adam Jones, in that Buck has made him realize how important it is to show up and play every day, not just to show up.
I'm guessing the Orioles and their fans are hoping that Buck Showalter will provide some stability in the manager's chair. It's been, as we said, 13 straight losing seasons for the Oriole Ball Club. And since Davey Johnson led them to 98 wins in 1997, they've had 8 different managers. Ground ball up the middle. And Adam Jones has the first base hit of the game for Baltimore. And a big ovation for Jair Jurgens. He got the ground ball, but out of reach.
He's had 5 strikeouts tonight. They all came in the first 4 innings. But Jair is a little bit like Greg Maddux in this respect, that he's going to make you put the ball in play. And Greg always said, I'm not going to ever throw a no-hitter because I pitch to contact. You know, I'm not going to strike out 15 guys.
Well, now he's just got to hunt down the win, try to become the first 11-game winner in the National League. Justin Verlander and CC Sabathia have already reached that total over in the American. The Orioles don't run an awful lot. They have 31 steals as a team. Jones 5 for 5 though. And Wieters had a good cut, 0-2.
Sure did. He's in the hole though, like a lot of cleanup hitters are against Jair Jurgens. Opposing team's cleanup hitters 4 for 42, including Wieters 0 for 2 tonight. And their cleanup hitter, whoever bats cleanup, not just Wieters, only 6 home runs in the cleanup spot, and that's 12th out of 14 teams in the American League. A lot of that falls on Vladimir Guerrero.
That's over the outside corner. Boy, he is painted all night. 2 out.
Brian Runge's had a very generous zone tonight, too. I would say for both pitchers, although the Braves have been swinging more than the Orioles have.
Jones got a terrific jump. McCann's throw is late. Jones 6 for 6 in steals.
Yeah, and it was a slow, deliberate leg kick from Jair that allowed it. Derek Lee's beginning to pick it up a little bit. 7 for 24 with a couple of homers coming into this series, and hit that ball hard to deep right center his first time up.
But like last year, come July 31st, he may not be wearing a Baltimore uniform. He might be a guy they try to move to get a few prospects in return.
Well, remember, he had a thumb that was really bothering him last year at the end of the year, and he played through it. He got that fixed and had the winter to get it right. He was hoping to kind of make a bounce back year this year with a healthy hand.
Two and two.
Oh, that was close.
JJ thought he had it, but now the count full.
It's a breaking ball. No, wasn't either. Must have been a little low. He was one of his best fastballs of the night at 93. Again, not feeling like he's got to throw 93 all the time, not max effort on all of them, but goes to it when he needs a strikeout or needs an out. That's what he did there, and just was spoiled.
Lee swung through it. Jair Jurgens took a no-hit bid into the 7th. He takes a 2-0 lead into the bottom half.
I'm from 4th Brigade Combat Team Kurhi, stationed in Fob Sharana, Afghanistan, and like to say, go Braves!
All right, I love it. Sunday, join us for a very special Sunday Braves broadcast. We honor the men and women who serve our country. It's Fox Sports South's Tribute to the Troops. Coverage begins Sunday at 1 o'clock at Braves Live, followed by the series finale at the Braves and the Baltimore Orioles.
And don't forget that all weekend long, members of the military, you show your military ID, you get a free upper box ticket. Your family members can get a ticket for half price.
We are expecting big crowds all weekend for the 4th of July, certainly. And it will be a great celebration Sunday and hopefully a wonderful Independence Day on Monday as well. And if you see a member of our military at the ballpark, pat him on the back and tell him thank you. Freddie Freeman starts things off for the Braves. Guthrie, as has so often been the case in his Orioles career, getting no support. In fact, only one hit behind him tonight. And he just walked Freeman on 4 pitches. A little insurance wouldn't hurt. Leadoff man aboard for Dan Uggla.
First walk for him since the first inning when he walked McCann with 2 out.
Dan has struck out twice tonight. Back at the 5th inning, Guthrie got him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Quick tag by Derek Lee. There's a great shot at first. The man on your left is oftentimes compared to the man on your right among first basemen in the big leagues.
And it was very much assumed that Derek Lee was just keeping that position warm in the second half of last season until Freddie Freeman arrived. And they were teammates that last month.
Freddie told us on the West Coast that J.T. Snow was the first baseman he grew up watching as a kid out in California. But if you were to emulate a person and a player, you could do no better than Derek Lee.
Two-seamer there, and that visit from Wieters may have been to remind Guthrie that he doesn't have to max effort on every fastball. He took a little off there. That was 91 if you want to call it taking it off, but a two-seamer that had a little movement to it down and in.
Well, we've talked all night about Baltimore's pitching woes. I don't know if you can include this guy in that comment. He's pitched a great game.
And his ERA, I mean, it was below 4 coming in, and he was 3-9. It's virtually no run support. He's somewhere in the near the top 10 or bottom 10 in run support in the American League.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes. The pitch swung on and missed. Wieters throws, short hops, and what a scoop and tag. High risk, high reward when you run on Matt Wieters. And Uggla strikes out into a double play here in the 7th.
Chased a bad ball, but Wieters caught stealing, gets improved thanks to the terrific glove work here by Robert Andino. The short hop got it back there in time to clip the leg of Freddie Freeman. Nice play by the former Marlin.
So Wieters 22 out of 50 in catching would-be base stealers. And that is the best in the American League with a minimum of 450 innings caught. Line to left. And Alex on his way to second. His second hit against Guthrie, a man he's hit hard entering tonight's play. He's 2 for 3.
We talked about Alex in Seattle, about how he got a steady diet of sliders, and they got him to chase and chase and chase. Well, guess what? He can still hit a fastball, especially one in the inner third, no matter how hard you throw it. He just ripped that one.
Yeah, both you and I got to the ballpark early today, and Alex was spending a lot of time in the video room breaking down his swing and the delivery of Guthrie. We'll pitch around the 8th place hitter, Nate McLouth. Brooks Conrad has grabbed a bat and was in the on-deck circle. Let's see how long he stays there.
Yeah, that was a good try by Freddie. Tried to deke Showalter into thinking that Conrad would pinch hit. And from Showalter's standpoint, it was like, that's fine. Just, if you want to pinch hit for that guy, get him out of here.
It's not Buck's first rodeo.
No, it's not.
Well, let's see if JJ can help himself. He's 3 for 32 this year at the plate. Salas at second, McLouth at first with 2 outs. Braves hoping to win tonight to keep pace with the Phillies. Philadelphia got some help with some real shaky Toronto defense today, didn't they?
It's awful. Toronto had that game won 3 times, seemed like, and then coughed it up in the 9th.
Phillies beat them 7-6. Braves hope to remain 4 back with a win in game 1 against the O's. A strike, 0-2. And that'll retire the side. Braves threatened but failed to add to a 2-0 lead. 6 outs left to get. Braves 2, Baltimore 0. The Orioles order up. Jurgens rolling merrily along, as are these folks. There are McDonald's fans of the game and celebrating a big night tonight.
Big time 50th anniversary. Congratulations.
So fans sign up today for the 2012 Braves Fantasy Camp. You'll enjoy a week of baseball at Disney's Wide World of Sports. Braves legends Steve Avery, Javi Lopez, Sid Breen, Pete Smith, Greg Olson, and others will participate with you in the spring training home of the Braves in Orlando. Register today at braves.com/fantasycamp or call 404-614-1526. Luke Scott, Mark Reynolds, Robert Andino, and then the pitcher's spot for the Orioles. Was Luke Scott a potential answer for our trivia question? 25 homer, 25 steal guy for the O's.
Could be a candidate.
Three balls, no strikes. Again, it's a 2-0 game. Don't want to fiddle around too much with this Oriole attack.
Just 88 pitches for him, but he hasn't pitched more than 7 innings since he went 7 on June 9th at Florida. That was 3 starts ago, 4 starts counting this one.
Scott got the fastball but fouled it back. 3-2.
Flaherty up. Freddie Gonzalez said that he'd like to give Johnny Venters a few days off. Probably needs it.
Another comebacker. He might be setting a major league record on bouncing balls back to the mound in one game. One out in the 8th, and here we go. The AT&T U-verse trivia question. The only 2 players in Orioles history with 25 homers and 25 stolen base seasons.
I've only got one name, and that's Don Baylor when he broke in with this ball club, and I can't think of another. So I'll go with your.
I'll say John Lowenstein.
He'd be so proud. He really would.
Or Boog Powell, take your pick.
Okay, about the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, John could run a little bit. All right.
All right. Good job.
Reggie with 25 stolen bases.
Well, they've had great players. Baltimore, great baseball tradition. Young fans may not realize this, but the Baltimore Orioles used to be the old St. Louis Browns. At one point, there were 2 teams in St. Louis. The Cardinals, of course, in the National League. The Browns in the American.
I know this. They were a tough team to deal with in the late 70s, early 80s. Boy, were they good. And especially at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Tough to beat there.
Well, how about the pitching they could throw at you in a series, huh? Fly ball well hit toward right. Jason has it. 2 outs.
Well, in those days, it was Jim Palmer and Mike Flanagan and Dennis Martinez and Scott McGregor. And then in that year where they beat the Dodgers, swept the Dodgers in a 4-game World Series, they had 4 20-game winners, I think. 71, thanks, Hal. 71, they had 4 guys win 20 games. There's Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. Still looks like he could still pitch.
Robert Andino bats. Boddicker and McNally. Tippy Martinez. Steve Stone won a Cy Young Award in Baltimore one year. It was in 1980.
He won a bunch, didn't he? He won 24, 25 games that year.
It was over 20. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, he had a great year. And they really had high hopes for a lot of the youngsters that they have in their system after last year's second half under Buck Showalter. They shaved a run and a half off their ERA after he took over last season. But those young starters haven't taken the next step forward for them.
They drafted a high school kid out of Oklahoma with their first pick this year. And a lot of people were crazy about him. Bundy. Dylan Bundy, I think is his name. He has not yet signed and has signed a letter of intent with the University of Texas, which is blasphemous in Oklahoma for that to happen. But the word around is that he wants a lot of money, like $30 million.
Two and two to Andino. Well, there's no harm in asking.
I guess that's true.
A season where Jurgens has had a lot of terrific performances. So far, this one has to rank at or near the top. And his 100th pitch of the night is coming. And it's popped up on the infield. Chipper is there. He's got it. Jurgens threw 8 with a 1-hit shutout. And a standing ovation as he makes his way to the Braves dugout on a hot, sticky night at Turner Field. working against the American League, and they're up 2-0 in the bottom of the 8th inning at home tonight. Braves are 8-4 in interleague play. And really hope to make some hay on this homestand with Baltimore and the Colorado Rockies coming in before a brief 3-game visit in Philadelphia before the All-Star game. Into center field. Jones can't get that. Schaefer's 2 for his last 2. Good start to the Braves' 8th.
And another good swing. Just like the one before. Got jammed, but that's good. You're not swinging the bat very well if you're not getting jammed once in a while.
Just joining us, the daily double of Schaefer and Hayward, while we have a 2-0 score. Jordan singled in the 6th. Hayward chased it home with a long homer.
Last time up, the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, 92-mile-an-hour fastball that was at the letters, and he leveled off on it and hit it 409 feet to account for the only runs of the night. His 8th of the year and his first since late April.
104 at bats between homers for Hayward. And this one hooked into right field. Jordan around second. He'll make it to third without a throw. And the Braves threatening to add on in the 8th.
Good piece of hitting there by Jason, in that it looked like it was a pitch either up and away or just away that he went out and hooked through the big end of the bat, got some top hand on it to try to take advantage of that hole on the right side. Great work.
And that was the last pitch of the night for Jeremy Guthrie, who leaves allowing 2 runs, but got no offense behind him because Jurgens has been nearly unhittable. Braves in command. We're in the Baltimore bullpen, and we're back in a moment. Tonight, gave up one big blast that was off the bat of Jason Hayward.
Chip, talk about tough luck. This is the 6th time out of 17 starts for Guthrie that he's been given 0 runs to work with while he was in the game.
Amazing. And he'll give way now to left-hander Pedro Viola, 27-year-old lefty out of the Dominican Republic.
Second time he's been called up. Those are his numbers at AA Bowie for the Bay Sox. He last worked in the big leagues May 30th. 1 2/3 scoreless innings. Got called up last September for a cup of coffee too.
Friday, August 12th, when the Braves and Cubs play, the Braves will honor Bobby Cox and retire his number 6 jersey. Join us at Turner Field for this historic event. Great tickets available for the battling Cubbies and the skipper, Bobby Cox. Braves.com/tickets or by phone at 800-745-3000. Percentage play for Buck Showalter. You look at the numbers and you know why he brings in the lefty. Atlanta is a team hitting .215 this year.
Yeah, but you know what? In RBI spots, I'm not sure that's a good idea with Brian McCann. He leads the National League in RBIs against left-handed pitching. And another left-handed hitter is right behind him.
No balls, 2 strikes. Brian also far and away the Braves' best hitter against left-handed pitching this year. He's hitting .306 against lefties. But he's in a 2-strike hole. Hop back toward us.
He's got a chance to be the June Player of the Month. Last 26 games, 10 homers, 22 RBIs, .385 average, and led the majors with that OPS.
We had to do a lot of voting today.
Yes, we did.
Rookie of the month, pitcher of the month, the sandwich of the year.
Good point. I went McCann, Cliff Lee, Freddie Freeman, Brisket.
Can't argue with any of those choices at all.
Got another inning to go, Freddie. Hang in there.
Good stop by Wieters. Another great stat on that kid. We're told he does not have a pass ball this year.
Yeah, you know, and remember when they drafted him out of Georgia Tech, there was some question is, are the Orioles going to make him a catcher, or are they going to have him be a pitcher? I mean, it was, I'm sure they already had plans, but there was a toss-up coming out of Georgia Tech what he was going to be.
Did you play against Rick Dempsey?
Yes.
That's another guy I'm sure that you wouldn't mind seeing a young player model himself after.
Oh, if he's got some, if he's getting some coaching from Rick Dempsey on his, or got some in the minor leagues, he's learning from one of the best defensive catchers. Absolutely, especially catching and throwing. Rick was a beauty. Brian's been able to lay off these pitches in the dirt. He's trying to get something up. But knowing him, he's just looking for something that he can hit to center field. He's not thinking about pulling the ball unless Viola makes a mistake.
Popped up. Derek Lee over by the Braves dugout in foul ground. Has room. Haven't seen that much from Brian. But Viola gets him for out number 1, and Chipper is the batter. Interesting year for Chipper. It seems, partner, he has his best at bats in situations like this.
No doubt about it. It's almost like he just kind of treads water for a few at bats until he gets a chance to drive in a run. Hasn't hit the ball. Sorry, Chip. He hasn't hit the ball hard tonight. Couple of ground outs to second, pop up to center.
One ball, no strikes. Chipper comes through with 1 out. A single to left brings home Jordan Schaefer.
I would bet that Jim Palmer and the folks that have been around the Orioles camp for many years saw this happen time and again with Cal Ripken Jr., where later in his career he may not have the same juice every time he went to the plate, but when the chance to drive in a run presented itself, always a tough out.
So 36 RBIs for Chipper with a man in scoring position. And it sets things up for Freddie Freeman. Braves enjoy a 3-0 lead now. Freddie at .247 this year against lefties. Game 2 of this series here tomorrow night. Start at 7:10. Tim Hudson, Jake Arrieta will pitch in Game 2.
Saw Craig Kimbrell warming up in the Braves bullpen. We don't see Jurgens on the bench, even though he just went over the 100-pitch mark. I was hoping he'd be able to finish the ball game. His season high in pitches is 116, and that was just 2 starts ago. Saved the bullpen another day.
Well, this has been a long inning. Freeman the 5th man to bat. We've had a pitching change. If that factored into it.
Sure,
Freddie.
would.
Derek Lee at first. The ball hits Chipper in the helmet. Hayward scores. Freeman to second. Chipper to third. It's 4-0. . 2
Very good fielding first baseman, but the runner got in the way of this one. And boy, Chipper got nailed right in the head. You're right, Chip. That gets a run in. And hopefully Chipper's all right. He did examine his helmet. It appears to be okay.
That play knocks Viola out of the ball game. Atlanta has scored 4 runs against Jeremy Guthrie. They have 2 more in scoring position as they try to deliver the knockout blow in the home half of the 8th inning. And take advantage, lead 4-0 in the 8th.
Jason Birkin's in his 22nd game, a very high ERA. This guy was in a ton of games for them last year. He's one among the American League leaders in terms of innings pitched out of the bullpen. He got sent back to AAA after his rough numbers and just called back up June 15th.
Chance for Dan Uggla to bring home a run with a little contact. Dan has struck out 3 times tonight, once into a double play.
There's 2 runs here. May allow Craig Kimbrell to take the rest of the night off and not have to throw anymore. Still not sure about Jurgens.
Over the inside corner. And this time Uggla strikes out looking.
Like a good pitch. Everything else had been away, so he stood him up with a breaking ball inside there. It may not have been exactly where Wieters wanted it, but got called a strike by Brian Runge.
I think Paul would have called that a strike too.
Probably so. Golden sombrero for Dan tonight.
You made the point on the road trip when Dan is swinging at strikes. Goes without saying he's a much better hitter. very aggressive at the plate tonight. 4 strikeouts, 3 of them swinging. Alex had a rough road trip, has rallied tonight with 2 hits, a single in the 2nd, a double in the 7th.
RBI guys, high RBI guys like Dan Uggla are aggressive no matter what the pitch count. But with first base open, you're not, you never know. They may be pitching around you, maybe trying to see if you'll get yourself out. So they had the luxury there of just throwing a bunch of breaking balls early in the count to see if he would chase. He did, and they got him.
And now Alex goes fishing, and he's retired. Birkin comes in and strikes out 2 men. Braves get 2 in the 8th and send this game to the 9th, needing 3 outs for a series opening win. What he started after a long bottom of the 8th inning. He's back out there with a 4-run lead and a 1-hit shutout through 8. And we invite you to play hooky with your coworkers, your friends, your clients, anybody you want to bring to Turner Field this Thursday. The Braves and Rockies play at 1 o'clock. It's the Braves SunTrust Business Fan Special, and fans that buy tickets at Braves.com/sickday can save up to 37% off and pay as little as $10 for a great seat. Visit Braves.com/sickday. Vladimir Guerrero will pinch hit and start the Orioles' 9th.
One for 4 as a pinch hitter for the year.
A 9-time All-Star is Vladimir Guerrero. First on the scene with the Montreal Expos back in the late 90s. And had several great years with the Angels. Last year, as Joe mentioned, with Texas, hit 29 home runs and hit an even 300.
Yeah, and the Orioles were hoping he could still get some more lightning in a bottle for them.
This guy's a lifetime 320 hitter. Right around 2,500 big league hits. And chased a ball ankle high and strikes out. 8 of those for Jurgens tonight.
Jair had a complete game against San Diego earlier this year. That was his first career complete game. It was a 9-hitter. Tonight, he's going for his first shutout. He's been outstanding.
Jurgens 2 outs away from being the first in the National League to 11 wins. He's 10-3 at the moment. And he's going to be 1 out away after McLeod catches that drive from Hardy. In case you wonder, the all-time Braves record for wins before the All-Star Game's 15. Phil Niekro did that in 1969. John Smoltz had 14 in 96.
33,000 plus here tonight, all on their feet for him.
Markakis, the final Baltimore hope. He's hit the ball at the pitcher twice. Once he hit it to third, and Jurgens was at the bag.
And a 19-game hitting streak on the line for Nick.
Into left. Ball game. A one-hit shutout for Jair Jurgens.
He's our Home Depot player of the game, as you might expect. His first career shutout, a one-hitter. 1 walk. He gave up a 1-out single to Adam Jones back in the 7th inning. It was a clean single, the only hit allowed by Jurgens tonight, and he moves to 11-3 on the year.
First National Leaguer to 11 wins. Jurgens 6-1 at home, and the Braves 13 over 500 with a 4-0 shutout.